Hi, friends. Host Eric here, host Talking to Finnish People, and I'm here with this Russian guy. He left a comment on the YouTube channel. He says he knows about socionics. He's come to explain to me what I don't understand about socionics role function and how it differs from the MBTI role function. So thank you for leaving the comment and for being willing to come talk to us about it. And tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts.
Oh, actually, I've just found your video and I've seen only probably 5 or 7 minutes of it, and don't actually know what you understand of it. I've just listened to the first part where you described your understanding of SE and compared it from Socionics to MBTI. And actually, I little disagree with you that, oh, you're looking so with this bone. So, I little disagree with your understanding SE as processes and acting, as I got it. I think it's more like feeling the pressure and like, well, I'll search for the word. My English is not fluent, so sometimes I won't understand and I will find some words in translator.
Okay, that's fine. I understand.
Yeah. And probably I won't understand you sometimes because you speak really fast.
I will speak more slowly because you have a delay in processing English because it's not fluent, like you said.
Yeah, kind of that. Thanks. So about SE. SE is about sensing the reality, sensing how reality influence to you and how you can influence the reality to make something real. Also, it is about pressure of the reality, and I'm still searching for one word. So that's what kind of it is a little. By the way, are you ENTP or what? ENFP?
ENTP.
ENTP, yeah. I'm ENTP as well. ILE in Socionics.
Right. Well, I've come to understand functions differently now probably than I did when I made that video. I tend to see I have
How long? When was it?
I don't remember when I made that video. I've made a lot of videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my perception on it now is that NE, extroverted intuition, is a creativity or meaning making function but it's an action function. It's an action to make meaning, make a new meaning function. SE is an action function to execute that which has already been decided. It executes decided things.
Kind of that, to realize it, to make it real.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying there about SE for sure. And I think of NI and SI as epistemological functions, ways of knowing. I have a different model. It's my own model. It's different than Socionics or MBTI. It says we have two action functions, extroverted intuition and extroverted sensing, two epistemological functions, ways of knowing things, that's introverted sensing and introverted intuition, and four evaluatory functions. Two of them are objective, TI and FE. Two of them are subjective, TE and FI. That's how I understand
it. Okay, I understand it way another, but I use similar words to describe it. So let me try. I think that there are like perceptive functions and judging functions, as Jung says. So perceptive functions are intuitive and sensing, both extroverted and introverted, and so producting or judging functions are feelings and thinking. Epistemological functions, as you said, I think that the cognition at all refers to intuition, because intuitions make meaning, make sense, and especially extroverted intuition, it's like the understanding the main idea, the cognition itself, and introverted intuition, it's like prediction or knowing what will happen in our model, what we already acknowledged.
So what do you think about the acting? What do you think about the role function in socionics? We don't exactly see eye to eye, but that's fine. But what do you think about the role function?
I think I will start a little far, but I will get to role function. I'm studying socionics, learning socionics from my mentor. His name is Semyon Churumov. He is from Kiev, and he enhanced the understanding of socionics principles and structures. So what I'm saying is not how popular socionics understands role functions. It's kind of deeper and more inferred, like based, argumented. So about role function. Role function has the same archetype as SE at all, extroverted sensing. So any role function has semantics as extroverted sensing, but it refers to different aspects when we are talking about different types. What do I mean? I mean that role function is the function how we feel the pressure of external space, and what we activate when we are mobilized, and we are trying to overcome pressure. If you are ENTP, so you use SE. But if you are, for example, LAI, how is INTJ? So you use introverted feeling to overcome pressure, and you use pressure, and you feel pressure when you have problems with introverted feeling.
Okay.
So role function is.
I like
Did you get it?
I like that definition of the role function as being that which you use when you're under pressure. It's a clear contextual boundary, and it seems consistent with what my experience is. I tend to sit around and make meaning about shit until pressured to take action. In other words, to execute the decided rather than to deliberate further about it. To deliberate further about
what is deliberate? I don't.
Deliberate means,
let me search what is.
Okay, yeah. Search it. I'll find you a definition for it.
Oh, sorry. I have pretty slow laptop, so sometimes. Whoa.
Engage in long and careful consideration. To engage.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but what I kind of mean when I say it there is also to make new meaning about it. So let's say I've already thought about something and I've decided that the best thing to do is X. X, then Y, then Z. I know it's the best thing, but I've decided that, but instead of doing it then, I proceed to make more meaning about it. But why is X, Y, and Z the best way to do it? And what if I were to try it with B, C, and D instead of X, Y, and Z? What would that look like? And so I sit there and I'll continue to do extroverted intuition about it. Where what's called
because
for...
this is your nature.
Yes, but what's called for at that moment really is extroverted sensing. So when it says the role function is about pressure, to me that means when I want to shift away from my default nature, it's I never want to. I never want to. So when I am compelled to by reality, like, well, you actually have to do that thing now, Eric. You can't just continue to sit here and muse about it. You have to actually do it now, Eric.
Yes.
When it's time to shift away from the meaning making, then it's going to feel... it's not going to feel like something I want to do. So I'm going to do it usually only when I'm pressured by the circumstances.
Yes, and also you have to feel like you have to do it, like it is necessary. And this is where role function connects to vulnerable. Vulnerable function detects when something important is happening. So you especially feel pressured when something wrong with your relationships, introverted feeling, because introverted feeling makes this feeling that it is necessary, that you have to act. And functions, they work in blocks. So the higher the feeling, the higher pressure you feel, the more will you have, like the more power, the more SE you can use.
I see. Well, and in fact, I discovered that last night, right? As the pressure upon me to attain sexual outcomes grew, I stopped complaining about it and just started making it happen. You know, because basically it hit a couple of weeks, and I started complaining about it in week 2. Like, God damn it, I can't make anything happen. And then by the end of week 2, I was like, fuck this shit, I am making shit happen. I didn't even really think about it because I don't actively think about my FI, but obviously that is a FI thing, that my introverted feelings are saying something you value and need is not being attended to here, Eric. And so then eventually as the pressure builds sufficiently, then I'm forced to be like, no, girl, I am coming over. Come on, text me your address. Come on, girl. You know, I get all like that because I got to make it happen, right? And then finally it does happen, and then I go back to my default setting, and I'm like, well, I can stop worrying about that for a little while.
Yeah, I understand. It also can work not in introverted feeling theme like relationships and this sex stuff, but anything that you feel responsible for, or what is important for you. This is introverted feeling as well. Yeah, but it's still introverted feeling. But not only the relationships between people, it can also refer to, as I said, importance, significance, and
work stuff,
responsibility,
stuff you gotta get done.
Oh, I don't hear you.
Okay, let me refresh.
Something is wrong. Listen to Eric simultaneously. So, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Good. Well, that is the reality that NTPs procrastinate quite a bit. And it's because of our relationship with SE, you know.
It depends on your, I don't know the word, in your responsibility to the world and to the stuff. If you feel that important stuff is really important, so you use your will to do stuff. But if you are not so responsible, so you just don't do, and you have like weak extroverted sensing and introverted feeling. I think that super ego block is the most important block to be to be improved in. So you have to improve yourself in super ego, and then your life becomes much easier, because you know that you don't fail in important stuff.
So for ENTP, that means SI and SE.
SI and SE. SI is super id.
Okay, what's the super ego block then?
Super ego block is role function and vulnerable function, introverted feeling and extroverted sensing.
Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, that's I'd like to think actually that I've been very much actively working on my FI, my introverted feeling.
That's good. Me too.
I've been trying to get more familiarized with it and understand it better. It tends to overwhelm me sometimes. You know, I think a lot of ENTPs, their approach to dealing with their poor understanding of their own introverted feelings is to put up walls that prevent them from getting out very much. But the thing is, when you start taking down those walls, they kind of overwhelm you frequently, and they're not very informative about anything. But it's something that you realize that's where the weight of life comes from, the heaviness to life, the significance to experience. It comes from introverted feeling, and so in order to feel satisfied, in order to feel satiated at all, we ENTPs have to come to terms with that we inherently, illogically, as an expression of our very beings, value and anti-value things in and of themselves.
Value and what?
And anti-value, which means repel. We repel things. Yeah.
Yes, I get it. Yeah, you're right, and we repel it when we are not sure what is certainly correct and certainly good, and if we don't used to do always good stuff with our vulnerable. And I think that you are right that it's the most valuable because it's like the leverage of happiness. If you are developed enough to deal good with your vulnerable function, you won't be unhappy because it doesn't become anti-valuable. You get it right, you know what to do, you are confident in it, and you already did hundreds of times in new situations. It can be hard.
Right. Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to stop this video right in a minute here. First, I just want to say two things before I start the video. I like the way you say vulnerable instead of vulnerable, just like Russians on TV. You say the V is a W sound. So in English, we say vulnerable, and Russians say vulnerable.
Like W, yeah? Well.
Vulnerable. That's
okay.
So the second thing is the reason I'm stopping this video right now is I have to go poop. And the third thing I have to tell you is thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.